everyone, welcome back to Heritage Outdoors here. My name's Andrew Seifert, and if you haven't already, I just ask you if you could just please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you can see any new content that I'm going to be publishing. And I have a lot of plans for a lot of different contents, whether it's going to be hunting as well as fishing. I am going to be getting into that as the fishing season has already started here in Ohio. But, you know, we're halfway through April, and I just want to go ahead, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity to go ahead and just stress the importance of trail cameras. If you haven't already bought some, just if you could just take a little bit of learned advice. I use trail cameras a lot, and this is for the main reasons. I want to inventory. I want to see what deer have came into the area during the few months of non-pressure. They're moving in as we got a lot of different cornfields and a really good bedding and water source, really good feed source and everything in that area. I want to see what deer are new on the property. I want to see what deer are still there on the property, as well as maybe even finding out which ones are no longer there. So we got a lot of does in the area as well. So being able to see, you know, which does are good breeders and which ones necessarily aren't that good, which ones have been bred and whatnot, and you get to see these little deer from like the time they're young grow up to be some really good potential, you know, deer with a lot of just really good potentially large deer, whether they're buck or doe. So that's an inventory reason for me to be able to use trail cameras. The second is I want a pattern. Having a large family, I consider a lot of the people at our church and stuff can think that we have a pretty decent sized family. So I can't spend as much time in the woods like I used to when I was single or maybe even newly married. And so what I do is I run these on video. All my trail cameras are set up on video for like 15 seconds. I've found out that anything longer than that, I'm just wasting time. I'm wasting battery life. I'm wasting SD storage space on my cameras. So I want to pattern these deer. I hang these trail cameras up in areas that I think deer are moving through. So whether it's a travel corridor, whether it's you know, that they're going from a bedding area to a food source, or maybe just, you know, just cruising corridors and whatnot. So I hang them up in those areas, and I'm able to find and locate these deer, where the deer are moving, and find out, okay, hey, like there's some groups of deer that they're just in that area all the time. And maybe there's that one particular deer, like he's not coming through every time. So you get to, you know, you coordinate your timestamps and stuff, your dates and times, and being able to find out, you're able to slowly put that pattern together. Like, hey, this guy's only coming through like every 6-7 days. Maybe it's not that far spaced out. Maybe he's a little bit closer. He's running maybe every 3 days, every 4 days, something like that. And so you're able to help put that pattern together. That way you're not out in the woods like I was when I first started hunting. We'd just be out there like all day, not seeing anything. And as a hunter, like that's a bummer. You hate going out. You get up early in the morning, you're going out, you're all day, you're sacrificing football time, you're sacrificing just kicking back and relaxing on a weekend. I mean, going out in the woods is relaxing for me. I do a lot of soul searching, that type of thing. I'm able to do a lot of prayer time and everything like that out in the woods. But, you know, just being able to being a good steward of our time, and that's why I run these, is because I'm able to manage, okay, hey, I put together the timestamps, the pattern of this particular deer, and go out, and you're seeing them, you know, versus all those times, again, where you wasn't able to do that prior to being able to get some of these. And thirdly, all right, so we already talked about you know, the pattern. We already talked about inventory. Now we're actually talking about planning. So once you start getting into the season, you know, not everyone takes early season like all that serious. You get some people that are just like, oh man, gotta hunt every day of the year or every day of the hunting season. You know, that's not, you know, that's great. That's all fine and dandy. But again, I have a larger family. I can't spend every Saturday or every, you know, opportunity in the woods. Like I have to spend time with my family. That's my priority. You know, I want to bring my kids along and that type of stuff. But because of the trail cameras and everything, you're able to get them, what we call is MRI, most recent information. And we're able to take that and use it to our advantage to be able to be like, you know what, you know, especially like when it comes time to like I'm talking the weeks leading up to rut season, the weeks prior to, you know, some major activity and that type of stuff. We know when those deer are going to be moving, so that we use the most recent information. A lot of times we'll pull memory cards when we're going into the choke, you know, we're going in and we're passing a couple trail cameras as we're getting to the tree stand and we're not sure which one. So we'll plug in the memory card and we got like 15-20 minutes, you know, so let's go ahead and check this out. Boom, all me in. They're coming through here. They were here yesterday. Oh man, this is awesome. And it helps you be able to determine which tree stand to go to, which particular area you're going to be hunting versus just going in blind and like you're just kind of like fingers crossed. Oh man, dear God, please help us, you know, help us to have a successful hunt, you know. Which is great. We need to be praying and we need to be thanking God for the opportunity to go out and enjoy the outdoors. But being able to use some of the tools that have been invented to our advantage just makes us that much more of a successful hunter. So let me just go ahead and take the time here and show you what we have. So this is not all the trail cameras that I have. On, you know, fortunately, I don't have enough workbench space here for all of them. But one of the ones that, if for those of you who may not have as much money to spend, I don't have as much money. I just try to go out and I check pawn shops, I check yard sales, I check marketplace on Facebook Marketplace. I check different forums and I try to get like groups, or I just try to get a really good deal. Maybe end of the year sales, that type of thing. You don't always have to go out and buy a brand new. Now, a lot of people are going to get mad with me saying that, but just be really smart with the money that you do have, and you can get a pretty decent trail camera for, you know, next to nothing. A lot of these I bought in for less than 20 bucks. Some of them I bought in these two for 20 bucks. It was $10 each at a pawn shop. So there you go, and they work. I've had these for probably 2 years now. So so this one here is a Tasco. It's worked great. You know, if you're talking about megapixels and stuff like that, it's not going to be like fancy. Just, you know, it gets the job done. It's going to show you the time that the deer came through. It's going to show you the image. You might on a good sunny day, you might even get color, you know, that type of thing. But you are going to see what type of creature it was that passed by. Now at night, it doesn't have the best pictures at night unless it's like standing right in front of the trail camera. But you know what? You get what you pay for. This here is a Moultrie. I've had a lot of the older Moultries in the past, and unfortunately I got rid of those. I think they were like the D something or other. This one here, it took like the big, huge block battery. These ones here, I'm more or less using this as a backup. I'm just really haven't been too happy with this particular Moultrie. So what I do use a lot of, and I kid you not, I use these, like I just use the fire out of them. I probably have probably 3 other of these, and then I have probably another 2 or 3 of this. And so this particular brand is all Wild Game Innovations. I feel like they're very dependable. A lot of people say the same thing with Moultrie. A lot of people say the same thing about Browning, that type of thing. I'm not here ranting and raving about one over the other. I just know, like, for me, I've been able to find Wild Game for relatively cheap, and they have worked. I know about how long the batteries are going to last when they're out there. I know what type of quality that I'm able to get with these particular trail cameras, and they hold up. And then this one here, this is one that my parents had gotten me for Christmas a couple years ago, and I have been just absolutely blown away with the quality of the picture that it has, the videos, the sound quality. None of the other ones that I have here have sound quality, but this one does have sound. And I'm able to hear grunts. I'm able to hear fights off camera. You know, 2 bucks go through, and I'm able to get like those. You know, it really helps you be able to kind of determine how you're rattling, especially during the rut or even leading up, like that week or two before November 1st, November 1st, November 8th, being able to try to mimic those fights. Are they lightly sparring, or are they really going into it? That type of thing. So being able to hear the grunts, being able to try to mimic that, it really helps. So that's my take on trail cameras in general. Just because, you know, you may not always be wanting to go out and go for Mr. Big. You know, maybe you got a couple kids at the house, or maybe you got a family member who's never hunted before, or maybe a coworker who's wanting to get into the sport, and you're like, you know what, like, you know, I got a couple of decent sized deer, you know, like maybe you just want to go out and, oh yeah, like, you know, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And so you can go out and, you know what, anyone, like this was my first deer here. But just being able to go out and just enjoy the time with the coworker, with the family member, with, you know, whoever it may be. You can show them all the pictures leading up to being able to harvest that particular animal. There's just so many different things you can do. Being able to share the information with others after the hunt, prior to the hunt, get other people worked up, get people into hunting, that type of thing. But trail cameras in today's world, in today's society, trail cameras play a major part, and a lot of people don't even give them credit for it. But this is very, very important. So that's my take, again, on trail cameras and the importance of them in hunting, just having a successful hunt. So, again, thank you so much for joining us here at Heritage Outdoors. Again, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.